Namaskaram, Sadhguru. My question is, as you have said for many times, Shiva has explored
Little.
all the dimensions. Shiva has explored all the dimensions of life. Everything he has explored. In this age, when the energy is at its peak, how can we explore every aspect of the life without being untouched and getting attached to all the compulsive activities? We say, I don't want to drink, but somewhere we are afraid that we will be addicted to it. My question is, how can we explore every aspect of life without being untouched?
See, nobody says, I want to drink. Some people drink, some people don't. Some people who drink may drink for the pleasure of it. Some people who drink may drink because they want to drown something within themselves. Some people drink because everybody is drinking. It's an evolutionary it's an evolutionary issue, you know. When we were monkeys, if one did this, everybody did this. And some people don't drink because they think it's morally wrong. Some people don't drink because they're afraid their parents and society what they will say. Some people don't drink because they found something better within themselves. They found something far better than a drink, so it never arose in their mind that they have to drink because they're doing wonderfully by themselves. They don't need any chemical help from outside. So these are different ways. If you want to explore life, because you can only explore life, you cannot explore art, you cannot explore spirituality, you cannot explore something. You can only explore life, yes? Well, you may look at it from a certain perspective. Somebody may look at it in an artistic way, in an aesthetic way, in a musical way, in a spiritual way, but essentially we're exploring life. Even if you are looking at inanimate things, you're only exploring life because nothing happens outside of you. Everything that happens only within you, isn't it? Do you see me right now, even if you're not hearing? Even if you're not listening, are you able to see me? Can you use your one hand and point out where I am? You got it wrong. This light is falling upon me, reflecting, going through your lenses, inverted image in the retina, you know the whole thing. You know the whole story, right? Where do you see me now? Within yourself. Where do you hear me right now? Within yourself. Where have you seen the whole world? Within yourself. Anything that ever happened to you, joy or misery, light or darkness, pain or pleasure, happened only within you, isn't it so? Did you ever experience anything outside of you? Did you? So the only thing that you're experiencing is life. You may think this is color, you may think this is sound, you may think this is something else. No. In your experience, you're only experiencing the way different things imprint upon your life. That's the only way you can experience it, there is no other means of experience for you. So essentially, you're only exploring life because nothing else you have access to, yes? Right now I may think I'm looking at this person, but no, I am only looking at the image that happens in my mind, isn't it so? Right now, if you touch somebody next to you, think you're experiencing that person's hand. No, you only experience the sensations in your hand, isn't it so? So your entire experience of life is absolutely within you. That means you are capable of experiencing only this one life. So is it a trap that you can only experience this? No. If you experience this, then everything becomes a possibility because, see, when it comes to body, we clearly know this is my body, that's your body, 100%. This is my mind, that's your mind, 100%, isn't it? But when it comes to life, there is no such thing as your life and my life. This is a living cosmos. You just captured a little bit of it. How much you captured, how much life have you gathered within you, will determine what is the scope and scale of your life. So whether you call it art, whether you call it music, whether you call it spiritual process or whatever the nature of activity, activity is a means to open up your borders of individuality. Well, that first question, is it a way of stamping my individuality? No, it is a way of erasing the boundaries of your individuality so that something larger than yourself happens to you. Something larger than what you think as myself happens to you in your life. This is the purpose of love, this is the purpose of art, this is the purpose of sexuality, this is the purpose of spiritual process. Essentially, that something larger than myself must happen to me, because only if this happens, I feel trapped inside this. Yes or no? You interpret this in many different ways, but essentially what you're looking for is, you want to somehow go beyond the limitations of your own boundaries. The word yoga, you've heard of the word yoga? Hello? The word yoga means people think twisting and turning is not yoga. The word yoga means union. Union means if you sit here, there is you and the universe. If you sit here tightly fixed with your boundaries, it is you versus the universe. You versus universe is a stupid competition. Hello? Those of you who are like this all the time, it's an absolutely idiotic competition between you and the universe. If you have any sense, you don't compete with the universe, because you're a small speck in this universe. How do you compete? This is what individuality means. Individuality means you are head-on with the universe. Yoga means you obliterated the boundaries of your individuality. The distinction between what is you and what is the universe has gone down considerably. If you sit here, what is you and what is everything else is about the same in your experience. If this happens to you, then you will see there is no such thing as my life and your life. There is just one big life happening. This experience is needed. A tremendous experience is needed within you if you want to create something fantastic. If you want to create something brilliant, something unique, something truly of some significance, you need an experience. But this is not if you find me too prejudiced, please tell me. I will tell you why I am prejudiced. The influence of European art on the rest of the world is disproportionately large. There is no joy in the art. The more miserable it is, the more profound it is supposed to be. It should look grotesque and… Because this became a European trait that in their own thought, they thought their thought is so supreme, they went to the point of saying, I think so, I exist. I want to ask you a simple question. Is it because you think you exist, or because you exist you may think? Which way is it, please? Huh? Because you exist, you may think. Because most people are in such a state of mental diarrhea, they think thought is a continuous process. No, life is an ongoing process. Thought should happen consciously, isn't it? Now I'm here, I exist. Now my hand moves when I want. Suppose this hand all the time it's jumping around like this, you will think I have an ailment. And definitely you can't be an artist with a jumping hand. Right now, this is the state of most minds. They're always jumping all over the place. And they think it's normal. It's not normal. But Sadhguru, everybody is like this only. Well, that's how it is in asylum. Everybody will be like that only. only the doctor will be crazy. Rest will be like that only, isn't it? So, it's important that there is an experience of exuberance, joy, profoundness. But right now in the world, a whole lot of people think only in misery you can be profound. Because it is true that for most people, their pain is the most profound experience of their life. To know profoundness of joy, to know profoundness of love, to know profoundness of exuberance and intensity of life, it takes something more. But if we just stick a pin into you, just a pin, not a sword, just a pin, the pain goes to the core, isn't it? Hello? Just a little pin, 1 inch pin, if I stick it, so deep. So pain becomes profound much more easily. So a lot of people think pain is the source of profoundness. This has to change. Indian art and the rest of the world must get liberated from the European art forms because it comes from deep states of misery, very deep states of misery. Suffering has been celebrated. There is nothing celebratory about suffering. Maybe you can celebrate somebody else's suffering. There's nothing celebratory about your own suffering, isn't it? Please.
So how Shiva…
You still with him only?
how Shiva explored his life, the different dimensions, I wanted to ask that also.
That's what I said just now without mentioning his name, but what you're referring to as Shiva means that which is not. That means he is not. He is not means what? He is in a state of abandon. An artist should know a state of abandon as nothing phenomenal will ever come out of you. If you're doing it self-consciously, if I paint this, how much money will I get? Then you must be a street-side caricature artist. If you want to produce something fantastic, what you consider as myself should go, at least for moments. If not continuously, at least for moments it must go. Shiva means that's what it means. He's not. He's simply not. He's in a state of exuberance. When he's still, he's not. Otherwise, when he gets into movement, he gets into the most intense, dense form, so then also he is not. He doesn't know the in-between. He's on this peak or on this peak. He doesn't rest in between. So, that's why exuberance and abandon is more important than control.